On this episode of the podcast, I have Alyze Sam on the show with me. This woman absolutely blows my mind in her experience in the crypto space, and it's an absolute honor to have her on the show with me. It's a deep dive into stablecoins and NFTs. Alyze has been at the forefront of this industry, writing a book on stablecoins 4 years ago. If you want to hear what stablecoins are, listen in. And if you have been hearing the buzz about NFTs in the crypto space, you're going to want to hear the show and you're going to want to have a pen and paper ready because your mind will be blown. So welcome to today's episode and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Wealth Alchemist podcast. My name is Carrie Norley, and I am so very honored, excited, and grateful to finally be having this conversation with my beautiful friend, Alyze Sam. She and I met at iHollywood Film Festival in June this year, where she had created the first NFTs for iHollywood Film Festival. And so we hit it off because I think both of us felt, I'm going to say, a little bit like we were not normally in Hollywood type people. And we hit it off talking about crypto and have become fast friends. And she is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul doing such amazing work in this world. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her from her professional bio, not just how I know her. She actually started out in her career as a nurse, and she has been working with communities, assisting underdogs. She is currently a co-founder of Give Nation, a children's financial literacy and AI blockchain project that rewards altruism. Sam is also passionate about her director role at several blockchain companies, including Constellation, Lattice Exchange, NewLife.ai, and Pack Global. She's a stakeholder and former director at the World Ethical Data Forum. She has charitable contributions, including sitting as a social impact advisor for blockchain nonprofits, Blockchance.eu, Women in Blockchain Foundation, and the Liberland Foundation Aid, a country based on the blockchain. And she also mentors women and children coming into STEM through her nonprofits. In her free time, because she has so much of it, she writes 15 plus tech magazines, and she wrote the first book. This is amazing. This book on stablecoins. It is called Stablecoin in 2017, at the forefront of this industry. She has the unbiased text, takes complex practices and simplifies concepts for most audiences. I've just been reading through this book. It truly is true. Like, it is amazing book. In February, the 2020 complete 2020 guide to stablecoins sat as the #1 new release in business and money on Amazon. Her second book, Stablecoin Economy, that's the one that I read, is a university text released. I think that's the one I read. Isn't that the one I read? I think so. Is that the one on Kindle? Yeah. Released May 14th, 2020. Sam's stablecoin research was published by Don Tapscott, the Blockchain Research Institute, in January 2021. And the Bad Crypto podcast developed a blockchain hero NFT inspired by her work, Ms. Stability. Sam is working on several globally impactful projects incorporating her knowledge in blockchain, AI, and NFTs. With her incredible team, cutting-edge technology, and servant's heart, she plans to assist in the establishment of middle working class in Haiti using technology and a jobs program with the Watersmark Foundation. When I tell you, people, like, grab a pen and a notebook, pause this if you're listening right now, because you're going to want to take notes. You've just heard what an epic woman this is. And I want to also add, before you even say a word, Sam, that not only is she an incredible woman in the world of blockchain and the crypto world, also she is an incredible advocate for a pregnancy issue called hypermesis gravidarum. Is that how I say it?
I don't think anybody knows, but I say hyperemesis gravidarum. Yeah.
And so I just say this because Sam has recently had has had many of her own issues going through some body related things and birthing her children. And so this condition with pregnancy ultimately kind of like eats at your body. And I know multiple people who've had this condition, which is horrendous as a pregnancy. And so I really she's been doing this and doing this work through really, really trying times in her own health. She has she has multiple beautiful children, but she has 2 babies right now that she's had to birth through this condition while she's been doing all of this incredible work in the world. And so when I tell you we have an amazing woman here to speak with, we really have an amazing woman. So please go grab your pens, your pencils. We are going to dive deep into stablecoins, crypto, and NFTs. We have not had a conversation about NFTs on this podcast yet. And if you do not know what that means, you're going to know all about it by the end of this show. So just grab a cup of tea and join us. So welcome to the show, Sam.
Man, that was like the most fantastic, warmest welcome ever. Like, I don't know if I should walk through the door or just grab my suitcase and stay forever. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're always so, so, so nice. I love you.
You're welcome. I just think you're such an amazing woman. And it's actually so interesting because one of the conversations I actually want to bring to the table is actually talking about being a woman in this space, because I know you and I could have a whole conversation just about this. It's not been we're such a small little contingency, women in the blockchain space. So I just adore you. I think you're amazing. So we'll talk about that. But first I want to ask you, how did you even get into all of this? How did you start?
That's a great story. So I got into it by accident, to be honest with you. I was stopped at a red light and I was plowed by a semi truck. That was it. It ended my career as a nurse. I sustained 7 spinal injuries in my back. My neck is fused together. This is a metal plate, this clavicle, and I have shattered bones throughout my body. And so I quickly became disabled. And you talked about the hyperemesis scaroideum. Well, I have an autoimmune disease. And so from my spinal injury, my lupus and rheumatoid flared up, and my husband and I got pregnant, and connected to that autoimmune disease came hyperemesis scaroideum. So I literally just got wiped out completely. And I reached out though to industry leaders because I was an early investor in Bitcoin. And I was like, man, I know that this is the future. Chemistry. I was working and just learning as much as I can. And I was trained actually by Dmitry Buterin. So Vitalik Buterin's father of Ethereum. So that's my story.
Fantastic. Okay. So then drop it a little bit. What's it been like, being probably, especially because you've gotten so deep into this so early on. And I say early on, you guys, we've talked about, I think in her thing, it said 2017 is when she's really first started working into this, which, let's be honest, you guys, 4 years later, this has been, Bitcoin's been longer than that, but it's really been this last 4 or 5 years that this industry has taken a huge growth. And really in this last 2 to 3 years that we've even started to see stable coins and the decentralized finance aspect show up. So when I say that, she's really been part of the forefront of this. So in that, what's it been like to be a woman in the industry for you?
Man, it's been crazy. I bought my first Bitcoin back in 2014, and then I went all in 100% in full time the very next year, a few months later in March of 15. And I've been in it full time since. And back then there was literally virtually nobody in it. They were it was very easy to get to the top because there were no women. I rolled around with Jen Grayson, a very good friend of mine still to this day, Maya Middlemiss, and there was just Crypto Jen was in back then. And there wasn't very many women, but we bound together and we taught each other. And then a lot of women that were well connected, they just rose very quickly. Leah Thompson, Girl Gone Crypto, has done so great in the space. And, Caitlin Long, Brittany Kaiser and I like threw a party together, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. And, and then she did all the stuff with Cambridge Analytica, and, I went on to Stablecoins, and it's crazy to see because everybody in the industry does something very different. And then the women, especially, it seems, are very multifaceted and are very differently involved. And so we cling to each other, and it seems like we learn so much from each other and then feed off of that intense, positive, insane, encouraging energy. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I find that a lot, especially in the women, because we are so few. We are so few leaders in the industry. And I say that with the hope that anyone who's listening and is a woman, if you are feeling the cold to being in this industry, like, we need you. It's like, come play with us. But I'm so glad that it's been such a beautiful experience for you. And I also find as well that a lot of the guys tend to like, show up and be a really loving, kind group of people to be with. And I think it really evolves from the fact that so many of us really just want to see, doesn't matter which sex we are, so many of us just want to see this get to the world and really make the changes. So it's like the community in and of itself is such a tight, beautiful community to really support each other to like take this, because we all together we rise, right? That's the whole point of this. It's like a whole peer-to-peer thing. So together we rise. Okay, so let's drop in to the power of stablecoins. She's written so many things about stablecoins. Now I've had, I think, just really specifically, my first conversation, it was one of the first 3. It's episode 3. My conversation with my mentor, Roscoe Pattison, was about DeFi. And I don't think we actually talked much about stablecoins in there. So this will be one of the first times we drop into this conversation. So can you please explain, like, what exactly are stablecoins and like, why are they so important in the development of crypto?
Well, I mean, that last part of that question is up for interpretation, because old crypto OGs will tell you that they are not necessary for cryptocurrency, and it goes totally against the belief systems. What I've always said about stable coins, I guess I'll define them first. So a stable coin is a digital currency that's backed by a tangible item or asset. Typically, you'll typically see fiat-backed stable coins, and those are the biggest. So Tether is actually the most traded cryptocurrency that there is, and it's a stable coin. It's backed to USD. So in my book, because you'll like this story, actually, not the story of the book, but how the book came to be. It's a woman powering book, believe it or not, even though there's a dude on it. But I wrote on stable coins almost 6 years ago. There were no articles in it. And I wrote a Christmas special, and I categorized 5 categories of stable coins, because people were launching these white papers, and they were trying to figure out, where this technology was going to go. And there was just no literature on it, none. So they asked me, a popular cryptocurrency magazine at that time asked me to write an article on it. And I wrote this awesome article, right? But I'm a real robust writer. So this article, that should be 4 pages, is like 32 pages long, because we needed to know it all. We needed to know everything. This is a new technology, and people are throwing their money in there, and they needed to know the whole unbiased truth. So I wanted to bring that to them. Well, this beautiful copy was produced, and they put a naughty nurse on there on the cover of it, and was going to ship that shit out. Can you say shit on here? Yes. They're going to ship that out. Thank you. And so they did. And the women in blockchain actually were in an uprise. And so we made them take it down. They paid me $200 for this massive article. I returned the crypto back, and it was like, and that was my book. And from that book came the 5 categories to stable coins, the first time it was ever noted. And I labeled them fiat backed. And then we've got crypto backed. And then we've got gold back. I've expanded that now terminology to commodity back because we have gold, silver, diamonds, oil. We have wheat backed stable coins. Anything that you could transfer on a supply chain could technically be in a stable coin. And you would want to use that in some senses, like gold backed stable coins, because if you were buying massive amounts of gold, why do you need to bring that to your home? Wouldn't you want that in a vault? A stable coin can have you own that gold, but keep it in the vault. So you're not destroying the planet and transferring that and doing the oil and spending that money also to transfer it, because, you just pay gas fees back and forth. And then we have what's termed an algorithmic stablecoin, which is backed by a marketplace or data or some crazy digital stuff that we're still experimenting with. There's only about 3 case studies right now that have successful algorithmic stable tokens, but a lot of people strongly feel that that's the future. That's a really deep study there. And so anybody can reach out to me and nerd out there if they would like. And then the last category I summarized would be the hybrid. And a lot of times you will see like a crypto back stable coin and a hybrid back with a fiat. And why you would do that, or a commodity back, and why you would hybrid those is because that Bitcoin and Ethereum and ADA and all these cryptocurrencies can be volatile. But if you basket them together, so if you have like 3 to 5 cryptocurrencies, or even up to 15, some of them had, you could do a hybrid currency and you can put USD behind it. And then you can also put gold and silver. And then you could sell the multitude as one stable coin. And what that would do is it would eliminate risk factors in having multiple different assets, but only owning one asset, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So what's an example? I'm curious. What's an example that you would say is like a gold-backed stablecoin?
Well, I have a really great example in my book from a friend of mine, actually, Anthem. It was the first gold-backed stablecoin, and that was Anthem Gold. And you can go to, I believe it's anthemgold.com or .io. You'd have to double check. It's been a while since I've written this book, and I apologize, Anthem, I love you. But that's actually one of the projects that I speak on quite a bit, because I think it's a really great case use for stable coins, because he has a vault in Texas, and that vault keeps cameras on all of the gold. And if I buy, this gold backed stable coin, then I'm purchasing the gold, and then I have the digital representation and the smart contract that guarantees me that gold. Well, what's really cool about this project is like they keep cameras on it. And so if the gold is cut or transferred or anything, the cameras stay on it. So not only do you have the security of the smart contracts backing that on the blockchain with the digital ledgers, but they're also implementing actual video on this so that you have that assurance and like who is handling your stuff, and that's really important. And I think we're going to see that more and more in supply chain and stores as we move forward, because think about it, like, where's your food?
Right.
I want to know, like, I would buy a wheat backed stable coin if it processed and made my bread, because it could verify that it was organic and it was grown, in a certain place. And I believe in that same as that business. And I don't have to, use other wheat that's like doesn't have the same belief system that I have, or that are, doing things that are possibly unethical. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why you would want that in supply chain and stable coins.
So interesting. So basically, if you're doing something with a gold, like a gold-backed one, you're basically just owning the gold, but not having to hold the gold.
Yeah, I mean, in some case uses, there's many different projects. And that one, yes, you would own the digital representation. So your audience understands Bitcoin because they're very advanced there. So like, people will say, but Bitcoin isn't money, right? It doesn't have any real world asset to it. Well, what they don't understand is fiat doesn't have any real world asset to it.
Totally.
It's not been backed by gold since the 70s.
90s. Yeah.
Right. When the gold standard went out. And so if they can think of Bitcoin as not having a utility, which, that's debatable, I guess. And so you can think of a stable coin as actually being backed by a real world or a tangible asset. And so gold, would be in that case use. And like I said, depending on what's in that smart contract and what that project is, some of them, they will keep the gold there, or, it's shipped somewhere else. It just depends on the actual project. So when you do invest in stable coins, really make sure that you're reading, into it and see what you're investing in, because you want to make sure. Something that you really need to know when you're looking at stable coins is the liquidity, like what it's backed by, like what is it there? And then what's the assurance that if you pull 100% out that it's going to be there, because that's also a concern, So there's been multiple projects that haven't had that assurance there. And, I'm a big Karen when it comes to that, because that hurts my industry, that hurts my blockchain world. Bitcoin saved my life. So don't screw with my blockchains, don't put anything nasty on there. Be honest people, and stable coins are supposed to bring that legitimacy to the blockchain world. And that's why I've always said that stable coins are a gateway to a better economy and to a decentralized utopian economy, hopefully.
Okay, I want to move into that, but first I want to ask another question about the other things about stablecoins. So then you mentioned that there was ones that are using a hybrid. So what would an example of a hybrid stablecoin be?
Kind of like I mentioned, how you would tie cryptocurrency to a fiat to a gold.
Right. So like, what would I look for right now? Like if I'm going to go, okay, I want a hybrid stablecoin. What would it?
Oh man. I couldn't tell any off the top of my head. I could flip through here my book and tell
you. It's in your book still? Okay, cool. We're gonna look, because I skimmed through the whole book. I missed that part. We're gonna go look into the book. Everybody go look. Everybody just get stablecoin economy. I'm telling you, it's like I honestly, I was reading through it this weekend and I was like, this is like a Bible. If anyone is new into the crypto space, and especially stablecoins, but even the crypto space, like just go get the book. Just do it.
Your audience can have it for free. I will mail them they can have a digital copy, because they're sweet. And, it's a really robust subject and people are really scared to dive in. And my book is supposed to be for, I would say like a beginner college to mediocre college level. But some of it's pretty technical and it's hard to digest, and I'm a liar if I say that it's not, because it's definitely not for a 5-year-old. I know that I look like a blonde bimbo Barbie, but the writing's a little hard in some spots. So, I would love to give your audience a copy of it. And then this December, me and Joyce Chow actually like that. Me and Joyce actually will be doing an NFT book together, and that is going to be a lot more simpler to understand. And it's only because stable coins are just really complicated. You've got the tech, and then you have to understand finance,
smart contracts, and
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And so, I got into stable coins because, like I said, I felt like it was a gateway. I felt like I had to understand it and know it. And I felt like there's a lot of great case uses, but the opposite of stable coins are actually non-fungible tokens. And that's what's really hot right now and what everybody's talking about. And people can very easily understand that. Like nobody really understands fiat. And so if you can't understand fiat, it's hard to understand stable coins too.
Totally. Okay. So before we get to NFT, dive into, because you were like, I was on the verge of diving into, but you actually described stablecoins first, which is amazing. That's what we wanted. But why is it so important? So as you said, like some people will say that the volatility market is amazing, and Bitcoin and the Bitcoin enthusiasts are like, just buy Bitcoin, like you and I are not those people. So why stablecoins are so important into this economy right now, and what they'll bring for the future?
Well, stable coins are a really great on ramp and off ramp. So I talk about in my book, you can do a stop loss protocol with stable coins in order to protect your assets. So what that means is like Bitcoin is, like you said, extremely volatile at times. Like I remember walking into a coffee shop one time and like it tanked 40%. And I was like, I know why people jumped out of their buildings during the Great Depression because I think my heart just did that. It came out my butt, and I think that, during Mastercoin time, which was the first actual stable coin, which is now Omni, I think they started to develop that in order for there to be less volatility, but also to back some real world assets. Bitcoin wanted to be taken seriously. And a way to do that was to back it to fiat. And I mean, in a loose way, if you can think of the USDC dollar, the digital dollar, they're trying to produce a stable coin over there. And that's why stable coins have been more notable in the news. Like stable coins lately have been getting a little bit scary, to be honest with you. And when non-fungible tokens started to take a big increase a couple of years ago, I jumped on that. And the reason why was because of a lot of things in the news on stable coins. Tether recently has been in a lot of trouble. And it seems like, there's just so much to overcome there. It seemed like stable coins were at the beginning a gateway to decentralization. And then it seemed like the SEC just got really interested in stopping some of that. And, so technologists from all over the world, they see that and they've derived other solutions as well. There's still a lot of great stable coins, but when you're looking into stable coins, I say read,
Yeah.
read, and read. Because, when you're backing a lot of these things to real world assets, especially when fiat itself is volatile, and nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about Bitcoin being volatile all the time. But I mean, it started at 0 and now we're at 61.5 or something.
I think today.
Yeah, I mean, it's super high, but guess what? Fiat started and the inflation has gone up so much that, I mean, literally, we're trying to figure out how to pay kids, like what minimum wage should be. And it was more, minimum wage is more than I made as a nurse when I first started as a nurse almost 15 years ago. Like, that's insane. Like, there's a big problem in society. Like, if we're paying a minimum wage at like $25 an hour because milk is $100 a gallon. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, totally.
I know, but it's a serious issue. And like a lot of people in DeFi I got a lot of bad rap when I did all the education on stable coins because they're like, I thought you were one of us. And, I'm like, there's algorithmic stable coins and there's crypto backed stable coins and, gold backed and really good stuff. But, they think that it takes away from the magical of what we're trying to solve in a lot of ways. And that's what I've always said. It's a gateway to help us get where we need to be. You guys learn them. You use stable coins to teach people what an cryptocurrency is. Nobody was very familiar with using a debit card or a credit card. They wanted to still write checks. Like that was okay with them. And then we finally got it to where they were swiping, and now the next phase in money is we get it to where we're owning our own banks. We own our own wallets. We're all financially responsible for what we trade and hold. And we'll use digital assets to interact with each other, hopefully have some privacy,
Which, by the way, is what makes it decentralized, people. Right? Having our own money. It's like having our own wallets, hold your keys and hold your money, and that's where we start to get into this decentralized aspect. And what makes us be able to be, the decentralized finance aspect of the crypto space is what means that we get to be our own banks, because now we get to have borrowing and lending, which is the really cool part about DeFi and utilizes stablecoins. So there is definitely some like interesting pieces to what you're saying. Like there's some contradictions in it all, isn't it? But it's like such an economy that's new. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of contradictions in stable coins, especially from the DeFi community, because like we said, in its sense, like cryptocurrency was aimed for decentralization, and stable coins take that away, so we don't want to go through intermediaries. We want to avoid the banks. Like DeFi people believe, for the most part, believe that we're big kids and we can handle our own money. Like, we don't need somebody telling us what to do with it or holding it for us. And when they're supposed to be holding it, giving it to other people. Because, I was trying to take out, this was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I was trying to take out like $10,000 or $15,000 in fiat from Bank of America. This was at Bank of America in Wichita, Kansas. That's not a lot of money at all, and they told me that they had to order the cash. This was before the pandemic. Why did they not have,
15,000 in cash?
What? That's insane to me. It's Bank of America. That's one of the top 3 banks in the United States. And I'm in Wichita. It's a small town, but it's still over 500,000 people. Like, why did they have to order $10,000 to $20,000 cash? It's because they took my money and they were lending it out to other people. And I asked for it and I had to wait for my money. Like, that's when I got smart. And I said, I have to be responsible. I can't let anybody else hold my money, and that's why I think a lot of people in the DeFi community have a hard time interacting with stable coins, because you're still dealing with those people that we didn't want to deal with when we started cryptocurrency,
Okay, so NFTs. Talk to us. Now, it's not been introduced here. So you're gonna have to like give the overview. I know, right? We haven't talked about NFTs here. Just a quick break from the show to let you in on a new, exciting, and free training for you. You have been asking, and so I am delivering. I am going to be running a free 5-day Intro to Crypto live experience. Do you want to know how to get your first coins in crypto? Has the thought of educating yourself to learn the tech to do this been a stopping point for you? If so, I'm doing a free 5-day Intro to Crypto live training that will show you how to buy your first coins. It's time to stop making excuses. I want to make this as easy as possible for you. Hey, I'm not a tech person and I can do this. And if I can do this, so can you. Not only that, but I'm teaching my 8 and 12-year-old how to do this. So if I can teach them, then I can definitely show you. If this intrigues you, come and join me for free at www.carrienorley.com/crypto intro. Again, that's carrienorley.com/crypto intro. I look forward to seeing you there and celebrating you as you take your first steps into the wonderful world of crypto. And now, back to the show. So
Wow.
give the overview. This is definitely where her new thing is. And in the end of this, you guys hang tight, because she has an amazing project that is currently launching. And so we're going to hear a little bit about that too with the NFTs. Go ahead, talk to us about it. And if you guys are like, if you've never heard of NFTs, you're not alone. Like, there are many people who haven't, but if you're in the crypto space, like, this is like pretty much the rage at the moment is NFTs. And it's definitely the wild west of crypto at the moment. So talk to us about what they are and go. Just go.
Let's play a game. Okay. All right. This is called, what is an NFT? Your mom version. Okay. Do you have a phone?
Yes.
Do you have games on your phone?
Yes.
Do you have assets like coins, cows, swords, anything that you use to advance in those games on your phone?
I'm sure my kids do.
Yes, they do. And they probably spend your money to get them. Those are non-fungible tokens. Those are digital assets that have value. But you know what? If you are playing Minecraft and I'm playing Fortnite and I want to trade my Minecraft sword for your pig, and is that going to work? Probably not. But why NFTs are really cool right now is because the blockchain technology will allow those technologies to interact in the future. But that's not everything that NFTs are. You've probably heard of people selling NFTs for $69.5 million and then
Crazy.
63. Yeah, it's crazy. Why though? Why? And there's a lot of reasons why. It's actually not very crazy, because people actually took that $69 million, that was 5,000 days of work, into one digitalized portrait. And there was
So
one
before
of
you
those.
say that, hold on, before you go there, for those of you who have no idea what it is, NFT, non-fungible token, is also like, so a lot of people are there, the list of what you can do with it, from what I understand now, is about a mile long. But you can create art and sell it as an NFT. You can create tickets for events and sell them as NFTs. I mean, Sam's just done the iHollywood Film Festival as the awards as NFTs. I've heard, sports athletes, right? And they're like
Their
selling
moment.
off like a video of like the, amazing slam dunks or whatever it is an NFT. Courses, I've just, Gary V now has one that's like you can come in and be a part of the community through an NFT. What else? I mean,
Audiobooks.
yes.
They could be books, music, media. It can be identity, memes. It can be online collectibles, virtual collectibles, physical collectibles. It can be property. It can be your car, anything that is a non-fungible asset. To understand NFTs, you have to know the difference between fungibility and non-fungibility. Whereas Bitcoin is fungible and fiat is fungible, meaning one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin and $1 equals $1. They're interchangeable, right? You can have 5 ones and 1 1, but it's still $5, right? Well, but if I take this book and I write to Carrie, I love you, signed Sam, that makes this now a fungible book, but with a non-fungible, unique interlay on it, right? Well, the reason that non-fungible tokens are important to non-fungible assets is because the tokens are built on the blockchain. So the smart contract will say that this is an autographed copy of your book and I gave it to you. And so what NFTs do is it builds provenance to your fungible assets. So like, let's say that Kobe Bryant has an autographed basketball that he left to his heir, and he did a lot of work for charity. And we're going to take this autographed basketball and attach the physical asset to a digital NFT. Well, after that's done, we can not only track on the blockchain, like where it came from, we can show the certification of authenticity within the smart contract, but that digital token cannot be destroyed. Unless you put in the smart contract, you can actually mint the NFT so that they can be destroyable. So you can make them non-transferable, non-destroyable, and non-burnable. There's all sorts of things you can add on. Smart contract is just us coding in and telling it what to do. So that's the reason that NFTs are so vast and why people get so overwhelmed with it, because it's literally anything that's non-fungible. Anything. You're going to get married and it's going to be a non-fungible token. You're going to get STD results and it's going to be a non-burnable NFT token, baby. That was your birth certificate. That's an identity factor. When you get an oil change in your car, that builds provenance to your car, when you go to sell it, and so that's also going to be a non-fungible asset, and so it's really insane. Like the thing of it is artists really get this right now. Intelligent artists really can connect to NFT technology. And the reason for that is because like they're doing all of this work. Like this is by Vesa. Like Vesa did this and like they're doing all of this work. And then people are taking a picture of the Mona Lisa and, they're getting credit for it. Like they're selling this stuff. But with NFT technology, like you can show that I own this JPEG, but it's not only JPEGs, like I own this song, but it's not only that, you can own the copyright to it. So you can catch someone outside if they are using your art and trying to monetize off of your stuff. NFT that, NFT those dance moves. My buddy, Snap Boogie, NFT the first dance move because Saturday Night Live stole his dance moves and put it on there, never monetized him, never asked him to come on Saturday Night Live. And then Fortnite did exactly the same thing to him. So guess what? Now, every time they do the Snap Boogie move, they owe my friend money because he copyrighted that move. That's why NFTs are very, very important for now and the future moving forward.
Amazing. Okay. So what's your project now that you're doing with the NFTs?
Everything.
Tell us about everything.
I'm just non-fungible turning around, I guess. And telling those mom jokes on the way. My partners are going to be so embarrassed, let me tell you. Yeah, I actually co-founded the Nifty token with 7 other experts in the field. There's 8 of us. We go from, all of us are either white hackers or privacy experts. I've been a blockchain strategist for 7 years. And then we have the number 6 blockchain architect from Canada on our team, an AI expert that helped start the Blockchain Association in 2012. And then we have famous video game makers and viral video game makers, HitSense. They did The Godfather, which was the highest grossing software video game in history. And they were what was termed the first generational game makers with Stickman. So they've made video games that actually my children are playing that I played when I was in college when they were making them. So
yeah, it's so cool. This is another thing I've heard about with NFTs and gaming is being able to, like, now we can go in, and I'm not much of a gamer, but you can go in and play games and like you'd have a character and then you build out, like in Minecraft, you build out the whole world and you have these characters, whatever, right? But you don't own anything with that. Like it's just Minecraft getting to do Minecraft, right? But from what I'm understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, this is kind of new to me as well. You're like, there's now games coming in through the NFT world where it's like, okay, I'm going to buy my character and now I own my character and I'm going to have a sword, but I own it. And you're actually building out assets as you game that are actually valuable that eventually you could sell. Like, and as you build out these, communities or whatever else you're building, at the end, you actually have you've invested. Whereas now, like, as you said, my kids will be playing the games, you're putting the money, but you're never going to get that money back,
No, yeah. And with blockchain, like these are and NFTs, these are investments. And it's actually the future of business too, because think about it, like all of these kids and a lot of adults game too. And it's absolutely fantastic because we have what you call voxels and there's all these little tiny different creations. So, how you see, this is terrible and I hate it, but here you go. Like, we've got the Beats by Pro, right? So that's super hip. That looks super cool, right? Well, that's actually, if they did a digital video game, those Beats by Pro could be an NFT voxel. And so people could buy those and then stick it on their thing. And the businesses could make money off of that, or the artist that designs the voxel to wear in the video game will make money off of it. That's the future of advertising. Lay's chips and NBA and stuff are going to be in all these video games, and they're just going to be throwing merchandise around everywhere in the video games. And because people aren't watching TV anymore, they're TiVoing, or it's not TiVo anymore, it's Netflix now. I'm so old, and so whoops, we just told my age.
No, there's still people. I know still people who are like totally cable and TiVo. Yeah, I got it. I don't know.
I do that. No, I don't know. But But yeah, NFTs are totally like, that's totally the future of advertising. And you think about it psychologically, and that's going to pass through because you're just going to see it, and it's really cool. And what we're doing at Nifty Token actually is a solution. We're the first currency for NFTs. And what we're doing is we derive this solution because we wanted to bring reputation. We saw a lot of people abusing the NFT space and abusing really respectable artists. And so we wanted to eliminate some of that. And so we're actually a cryptocurrency that's backed by USD, and you will be able to stake and allocate starting on November 2nd with the Nifty token. You can go to niftytoken.io, and when you go on there, like I said, starting on November 2nd, you'll be able to upvote or allocate Nifty token to your favorite artist. And then when the NFT is sold, the artist actually will get 90% of their sales when we open our platform in December. That's called Belbo. I know this is a lot of information.
I know. I'm like, I'm trying to, I'm taking, I'm thinking of the questions because I'm a little confused already. Go on.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So keep going.
Nifty token is for reputation building. So you'll be able to stake and allocate on there. And the reason that you'll want to do that is because, like, say that you go and you list an NFT. Okay. And you list your NFT here, and let's on other platforms and stuff. If you're not using anything, they're just going to see that. And let's say a lot of people like your NFT that you listed, but one, maybe they couldn't afford it. Or, two, they just didn't really have a place for it in their life, but they like you, they respect you, they want to support you. Well, there was no way to like upvote them, without actually purchasing that, and just making them a really big deal, like just really diving in. But people
so you're saying, let's be clear. So you're saying, like, let's just say, I put out an NFT. I am an artist, or I put out a song, or I put out some content, right? And I have people who are listening to the show and they want to support me. So what you're saying is that you're giving them a chance to like buy into the thing, right? Is that what you're saying? You're buying into my content or my support or my podcast, right?
If you say you list one of your podcasts as an NFT, then if you own Nifty token, your fans could use Nifty token to allocate towards that NFT, even though they wouldn't want to buy it. Because obviously, if we put your podcast on an NFT platform, it would sell for $10 million, right? Obviously, because everybody loves you. And that's the honest to God truth of what the value is in that. Oh. And so, but I can't afford that. Sorry. So, but what I am going to do is I'm going to be like, man, I got $1,000 here in Nifty, and I'm going to put that towards her because I really believe in what she's doing. And then hopefully 10,000 people will follow behind me and advocate you as an artist. Well, what that does is it just like on Facebook, it shows the likes and it shows the upvote, but I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Now, the cool thing about that is my money is returned to my mouth when your NFT sells or it doesn't sell, because the money immediately goes back to me. 90% of the sales will go to you for your NFT. And then 7.5% of those sales from your actual NFT will go for the people that believed in you and upvoted you. And
so I make some money since they gave me money to say, thank you, I support you. And then when it sells, they also get money back. And that automatically happens. They don't even have to know about it.
Right.
For the original investment.
Yeah, for the investment plus 7.5% of those sales. And then our platform will take 2.5% in transactions for all the marketplace fees, which is the lowest in the industry. And also we have a white glove service, but because people can't really figure out how to do all this. So since we are experts and we've been in this for a really long time, we white glove everything for you guys for free. And nobody else, or people are doing that in concierge services. And I think like one of the decks somebody sent me it had a $10,000 listing service, or like 60% of the NFT sales. And I'm like, that's cute. We'll help you. It don't cost you anything. We're just trying to be nice.
Wow. I'm like, my mind is spinning. I'm like, Sam, we're going to have a conversation about what I'm putting onto this platform and like what I'm going to make an NFT about. Right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody should be thinking about NFTs, and everybody asks me where to get started in NFT technology. And I like to tell them, what you think about what you're doing right now. What do you love? What are you good at? What are you inspired by? Because that in itself has some sort of non-fungible asset or identity to it. I really love cooking and spending time with my children. Like that's my favorite thing in the whole world. And like we've made some art projects and stuff, and like we've NFT'd some of our art just for fun, because we can't always take it with us, like when we move, we travel a lot, and so, we try to pick up and, do our projects and stuff and then give it to somebody. But we like to have memories of it. So why not just make memories into NFTs? We're not trying to sell them, we're just trying to back them on the blockchain. I was a hospice nurse for 13 years. And, think about having like funeral services digitally backed up and all those beautiful pictures. Like my grandmother passed away last year and I'll never get to see those photos again. I don't have them. Nobody has them. And if the service was given within an NFT, everybody that spent time with that woman would be able to look at this memoriam, PowerPoint presentation honoring this loved one for eternity, and that's a really beautiful thing in my opinion.
So is it hard? Is it easy or hard? I mean, I'm like, it feels challenging to like take your thought. Okay, so let's just say for that example, right? You just want to put some pictures on, and your average person listening to this, how would that, like, what are the steps that someone has to even take to do that? Is it simple, easy? Do they need to reach out to you? What happens?
Well, I'm actually building the platform. So if
Of
they
course you
wanted
are.
to, if they wanted to actually mint something, we could definitely get them in touch with somebody that can do some very beginner step minting. I would recommend going to like blockgeeks.com and looking up and really watching Gary Vee stuff. There's a lot of tutorials on how to mint and how to get involved. I would just really double check your sources, and make sure that they're pretty unbiased. They're not trying to sell you anything. And just really kind of read up. It really kind of depends what your goals are with NFTs to how hard or how easy it's going to be. I know that sounds silly, but like if you're just trying to back up something, a picture of something, it's very easy to reach out to somebody that works in NFTs and just have them make you something very inexpensive, that you just want to back up some photos on a blockchain. Now, if you're wanting to deploy like a marketing project, or you have like, some really special art, or like you want to do something in the NFT space and make something digitally and physical at the same time, that takes a little bit of planning and effort. There's a lot of Q&A that goes into NFTs because sadly, NFTs are virtually everything that's non-fungible. Everything. Right. I mean, even as humans, we're non-fungible assets. And so, we just really have to go over the like your goals to get started. You do have to have a basic knowledge today of cryptocurrency. So you would have to have, a MetaMask or, Anchor or whatever blockchain that you're minting on. You'd have to know a little bit about that, and you would have to know how to have access to get and interact with the currencies there.
Got it. So then assuming that we have that knowledge, so you said like reach out to somebody. Where do you even find somebody to reach out to do this?
Again, that kind of depends on the goals. I mean, if you're just wanting to purchase and collect, you would go to the marketplaces. If you're wanting to mint, the marketplace that you would go to would be dependent on what you're wanting to mint. If you want to mint physical art, you would want to go to a higher end marketplace. If it was a luxury item, especially if it's just digital art, or you're just toying with stuff with your kids
or things like that.
Yeah, you would go to different blockchains, and I can't specifically tell you where to go because, again, it's all dependent on what your goals are and then your knowledge of minting too, because you can mint it all on IPFS if you're super technical. If you're not technical, they have blockchains where you're just signing up with social media, and just kind of very clicking stepping it. But again, some of those solutions aren't right for some of the things that people want to. So there's a lot of research that goes in. Now, the fact that that explanation was impossible and sucky is the reason that the NFT space is working so hard. Like, we're trying to derive solutions. The platform that I'm building here in the next few months, I mean, we really want Apple Pay to NFT to go to bed and be happy. I mean, that's our end goal. That's what we're working with HitSense with right now. We want it to just be keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Because since NFTs are everything, there should not be such a huge gateway or, go through this massive lines of communication and education and efforts just to be able to own something that is the future. And it is very important. And so we're deriving all of those solutions. Right now, if you just cannot wait to mint something, I would say just reach out to, if you feel comfortable reaching out to me and Joyce Chow are writing a book together on NFTs. We're super happy to help direct you. I'm launching a luxury goods service that has a white glove service in it. Now, my white glove service, we believe I write only unbiased tech, and then I offer solutions. And I just hope that people want to take my solutions, but I don't expect them to. So our white glove service that we will provide, we won't always list on our platform if it's not right for the artist. That doesn't build mass adoption, and that doesn't reflect well on me, and it definitely doesn't benefit the artist when I just want to benefit off of them. And so our white glove service, we will walk you through, or one of our employees will walk you through all of that, and really figure out what you want to do and get you where you need to be. If that's your goal, we'll help you out.
Perfect. You're amazing. Okay, so let's get this to the crux. If somebody wants to get into Nifty and they want to buy their token after the 2nd of November, which this show will be out after the 2nd of November anyway, soon after. This will be out sometime in November, I do believe. So if they're wanting to come, they're going to come on to, where are they going to buy their token? How's that going to happen? Do they go on to a exchange?
Yeah, you can go. Actually, the best way to do it would be go to niftytoken.io. It's nftytoken.io. And then you can buy at the top, there's a buy Nifty button. It'll directly take you to the Uniswap exchange currently, but we will be listing on multiple different exchanges. So this is just our very early. This is our launch. We're babies. We did a fair launch. So that means that all of the owners put their money where their mouth is. We all put in at least $10,000 of our own money to build our liquidity pool. In 3 weeks, we built over 2.7 million. So yeah,
congrats.
Thank you. We took this very seriously. We only reached into our inner network to start this off. We haven't done or paid for any PR, marketing, nothing. It's just all been friends and family like this. And so now is definitely a great chance to consider looking into it. We started at 10 cents. We have already hit 60 cents.
Boom. Off to get some Nifty. Yes.
Nifty is spiffy. My partners are so embarrassed. I know.
Okay, so that's number one. So you can go on to niftytoken.io, not .io, is that right?
Yep.
And get your Nifty. And if they want to follow you, to be able to know about you creating this other platform, to be able to get minted into NFTs, where do they find you? What happens for that? How do we do that?
You can keep updated on our Telegram channel. You can come visit us on social media.
I didn't know you have a Telegram channel. What's your Telegram channel?
Oh, we've got a lot of Telegram channels. I've launched a few projects. So, but Nifty Token is pretty hopping right now. And we do have a Velvo channel. We've got a couple of event channels too, and women in blockchain channels. So the ladies in here that do want to be involved and learn more about this, there's a fantastic decentralized community of women that just support each other for nothing except for like, let's all learn and get to the top together, because money and tech are all men. And so, it's always really great to join those communities. And Women in Blockchain Foundation, Women in Blockchain Global is Tessie Marin's. That's a fantastic one. I'll make an introduction with you to her because I think you guys would be really good friends. And she works in DeFi too.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, definitely reach out to those places. And then I'm at Alyze Sam on everything from everywhere. I'm very easy to find. There's only one other person in the world with this name. So
and it's ALYZE or ALYZE, right? That's what I'm saying, right? SAM, so that you guys know as you're hearing, because I know if you're listening, you might not have heard the Z, not the S. So okay, is there anything else that you would like to leave people with today? I mean, this was huge. I hope that, for those of you who are listening, I know that I have an intro level of podcast into the crypto space, and Alyze probably just blew your mind out of the water, and you probably have no idea what she's saying half of the things if you're new to the space, and that's okay. Like, the thing that I always say about learning new things in the space and having someone come and talk to us about technological things is congratulate yourself for being here and go and learn more. Right? Like, this is the whole point of all of this. Every time I am open to a new thing, because crypto is evolving so fast. So every time I'm opened up to a new space and to a new experience and to a new, it's like a new language, right? And each aspect of this is a new language. I just invite you all to go and learn more, right? There's YouTube channels. Go and follow Alyze on any of her channels. Go into these Telegram groups. Go into, I'm assuming, do you have a Discord group as well? Discord channel?
Yeah, we do.
So Discord, for those of you who don't know, like, if you're wanting to learn more about crypto, almost any project in the crypto space has a Discord group, and there's usually amazing communities in there, and there's people in there to ask all the questions, and a really good community will answer your questions. Those are the communities that you want to get involved in. If it's a dead community with no Discord and no Telegram and there's no answers, walk away. You probably don't want to be there, right? And so this is the beautiful thing about it. Remember, like, blockchain and crypto, we're peer-to-peer. We're doing this together. And so just get involved, just start learning, start digging into this, and like, go and find all the things, write down the stuff in here that you didn't understand and go, okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? And go find further. So on that note, is there anything else that you would love to wrap this up with?
Man, you guys don't have to look any further. You can send them. I'm going to send you a digital copy of my book, and they can have the copy of my stablecoin book for free. And then if they need any help with NFT technology, like I said, just reach out. And like Carrie said, jump in those Telegram rooms. And I don't want anybody ever to feel stupid, because yeah, I feel really bad. Like, I go on shows that are not in the cryptocurrency world, and we forget that, we use a lot of buzzwords, and and they seem kind of flashy, and it all makes sense to us, and I'm really sorry about that. I do have to apologize.
Don't apologize. Well, it's been amazing.
No, but no, amazing. We want to. I think that the people in the DeFi community need to apologize for that, because like, it's hard to enter when we're flashing all of these fancy words at people. It may not make them feel so comfortable, and they may feel afraid to ask questions. But I want you to know, none of us ever think that anybody's stupid. You have to remember, like, I was a nurse. Like, I am literally a nurse, and I'm not even, I tell people I wasn't even a real nurse. I'm a hospice nurse. So my job was to kill people. Come on, you guys, like, seriously, like, that's a total joke. I loved my job to bring people to the other side. It was very spiritual. Like, I think it made me so much more of a better person. And so I apologize for that sick joke, but I definitely was not a surgical or a neurological nurse. Like, this is something that is a very, it is a little difficult to learn. But the thing of it is the future. And right now, NFTs are like the internet in 1978. Like, did you have the internet in 1978? I wasn't quite born yet. It was right after, but you know, I wasn't there yet. And the thing of it is a lot of people, it's just NFTs are not going to click. This is also Facebook in 2005. You know, it didn't click. People thought this was stupid. And now your grandma uses Facebook and she can't live without it.
Right.
You know, my grandma thought I was stupid because I got on Facebook when it was Face Smash, you know, like she thought I was crazy. And I was. So,
Right.
you know, I don't want you guys to be scared. Like, reach out. And the only stupid question is the one you did not ask.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you are going to lose in this game is you don't ask that question, you guys. Everybody wants you involved. Join in.
Yes, 100%. Because it is, you know, this is the future. And I think there's so many people that I know I have been putting podcasts out to help people overcome the fears, because there's so many people who are afraid of this space or think it's some like, I don't know the right word, like scammy, sleazy, you know, all the words that we've heard to utilize. And I'm like, you and I look at it like this is the future. There is no other way, you know?
And, you know, I have to say to that scammy thing, not to go on, but, you know, the people that feel that way have an absolutely right way to that's the right way for them to feel because they don't understand it. You know, it takes people a couple of times. The people that actually like know Bitcoin and like they understand blockchain technology, they didn't understand it the first time they saw it. And if they did, it's just because they were a super technical person and they've lived on the internet their entire life. I grew up on IRC. Like, I didn't have friends. I grew up on the internet, and it took me about 2 to 3 times that I was like, blockchain, medical records, you know, like I was like, oh my God, insurance payments. I was thinking like a nurse because I helped own a home health agency. And so I wasn't thinking money. I don't understand money. Stablecoins are hard for me because I'm like, what the that's fiat. It's crazy. Fiat is not working. It's broken. Y'all broke it in the 70s and threw it in the trash. You know, like Bitcoin blockchain, you know, the mathematical equation here and how we get to that is what I understand. And NFTs are a free for all right now. And if you don't understand them, that's okay, because we don't understand them either. We're experimenting, we're learning. And the people that are telling you that there are NFT experts, I'm sorry, NFTs have been around since 2012. Unless you coded Namecoin back in 2012, you're not an expert until next year, 10 years. So, you know, let's just take a step back. We're all learning. This is all brand new. Everybody's scared. You know, we don't know where it's going, but we definitely know that it's the future because we can see all the buildup behind it. Top Shots, you know, all these crazy artists are coming in. So, you know, what I would say is just be careful. And then also just be educated and don't lose that education. You know, just make sure you're reading up. It doesn't take more than 20 or 30 minutes a day to keep up on the news.
Totally. I want to give you a quick message before hopping back into this episode. Wealth Codes is here. I am so excited to be bringing this program to the world. If you have had enough of your limited glass ceilings that you have placed on yourself and your financial reality, and you are ready to shift your relationship with money and wealth into a beautiful, abundant one, this program is for you. I have created a space to dive deep and explore all the facets that are holding you back from bringing in your next level of financial abundance. There are plenty of money mindset programs out there, but they will only get you so far if you are only focusing on your mindset. You are a multidimensional being, so this program looks at all aspects of you and helps you shift your financial reality from a mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, and physical space. We have content clearing and activation sessions each month to help you clear the stuff keeping you from living your wildest dreams. If you are ready for a next level wealth reprogramming experience, join me in this program. Head on over to carrienorley.com/wealth codes to get more information. I am so excited to see you on the inside of this program and witness you as you create your dreams. All right, Miss. Thank you so much. This has been an absolute mind-blowingly amazing pleasure and honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope anyone who's listening have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are in this world. Until next week, when I see you on the show again, I will see you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you love what you heard, please help us get this message out to more people, because together we rise. Please review it, subscribe to the show, and share on social media. When you share, please tag me. On Insta, I'm at Carrie Norley, and on Facebook, I'm facebook.com/Carrie Norley 1, or Carrie Kaplan Norley is my official name there. Please come and connect with me on social media and say hello. I love hearing from my listeners. And thank you so much for your support. I'm so excited to help you bring in the new wealth.